Hi fans, and welcome to this WPIAL playoff week 1 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. Last Friday night, the Wolverines lost to Penn Hills and lost the top seed out of the Southeastern Conference. The Wolverines got the 6th seed and will host the North Hills Indians this Friday night at the Wolverina. We're going to sit down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak to review last week's loss against Penn Hills, preview this week's game against North Hills, and we'll also let you see highlights of last Friday night's game. All of that and more on the pregame show here on the Woodland Hills Football Network. The Wolverines entered Week 9 7-1 after shutting out the Blue Devils 47-0 at Mount Lebanon Stadium. With the win, Woodland Hills clinched at least a share of the Southeastern Conference Championship. Meanwhile, the Penn Hills Indians were 6-2, coming off of a 27-point non-conference win against Seneca Valley. A win would give either team the top seed out of the SEC in the upcoming WPIAL playoffs. These traditional rivals would meet for the 28th consecutive season, this time at the Wolverina.
Play broken up in the backfield, and it's going to be Kistner brought down deep in the backfield by Malik Flowers. That's Isaiah Jones. The play runs to the near side. Jones is the ball carrier across the 20, still on his feet, and Mike Nash can't grab a hold of him. To the near side, Jones still on his feet. Finally pushed out of bounds by Akira McLean, but a huge play for the Penn Hills Indians. Jet motion handoff goes to Isaiah Jones. He's met in the backfield. He'll elude Akira McLean the first time, but not the second. Dan Gibson got the assist. Motion man is Miles Sanders, 20, 30, still on his feet across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Tompkins will take the jet sweep. He has some room to that far boundary. He has a first down and more. And the handoff will go to Campbell. No, it's Kistner with the keeper. He's running down that far boundary. Still on his feet. He'll be brought down by Miles Sanders. Mathis, the handoff to Campbell. He is met by Amon Baldwin Youngblood, and you called it, Freddie. The big fella makes the big stop. Turnover on downs. Woody High football. That receiver motions, and it's Mathis. He fumbles the football. It's kicked loose. Will the Wolverines scoop it up? They do. It's Jordan Lee with the football. Jones off of play action, pressured from his right. He'll elude that pressure. He's going to hand it off to Miles Sanders, who bobbles the handoff. Now runs to the right. 25, 20, 15. Hurdles over a man inside of the 5 to the 4-yard line. Miles Sanders, he was sky high. Handoff, Miles Sanders has a hold, drives his way forward across the goal line for the Woodland Hills touchdown. Hard count. Kistner has time, now he'll be pressured. He'll be hit as he releases the football by Akira McLean, and Kistner was absolutely tattooed by Akira on that play. Indians are going to run a fake punt, and that runner bounces off of the back of a wave of white jerseys before a wave of black jerseys. Bring them down. It'll be returned from the 4-yard line by an Indian who is into open field, and this is bad news for the Wolverines as Billy Kistner goes down that far boundary. Kistner all day back there. He'll throw to the left, and the pass is complete. Down that far boundary is Christian Randall Posey, and he will cross the goal line for an Indians touchdown. Trips left. Jeremiah Jones off of play action. He's retreating, spinning away from Indians, still on his feet, and he will be brought down at the 24-yard line. Kistner's going to run to his left. Every black jersey on the field seems to be chasing him, and the sack will be credited to the big fella, Danny Gibson. A huge loss on the play, and the Indians are going to have to send the punt unit out. So Jones straight drop back out of the shotgun. He'll run to his right. Now coming back left. Get rid of the football, Jeremiah. Running to the far boundary. There goes Jones. He'll throw it down the far boundary, and it's intercepted by Penn Hills. With the pick is Malik Russell. Mathis is going to take the handoff, and he will be met in the backfield by Saeed Holt. A loss of a half a yard on the play, and another turnover on downs. Handoff, Shaw running right. Had a hole momentarily, now will bounce it to the outside. 35-30, 25-20, and he'll be brought down at the 21-yard line. The big fella again rumbles to the right side. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it looked like the Indians got a piece of that one. And it's going to be Campbell running to his right, cutting back left, and he is into open field. Art Tompkins can catch him. Also in on the tackle is Mike Nash. Kistner dropping back, looking right, throwing right, and it's a Penn Hills touchdown. Wide open was Greg Houlihan. Jones straight drop back. He's going to step up, running to the right. Tucking, running, 20 to the 25. It's a first down. Play action. Jones is hit. Now he'll lateral a pass over to Joel Shaw, who runs down that far sideline, and he'll be bumped out at the 39-yard line. And off, Miles Sanders bursts through a hole, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, end zone, touchdown Miles Sanders. He emerges from nowhere to again be a hero. Hand off, Shaw from right to left, right into the end zone, a huge hole, and the Wolverines are on top, 15-14. Mathis will take the handoff on the jet sweep, coming down the near sideline, has a cutback lane, and he'll be brought down by Damon Johnson after a big run. Motion man from right to left. Kistner off of play action, going to throw it across the middle where it's complete to Greg Houlihan, and Houlihan is brought down right at the first down flag. Kistner hard count, he's going to keep it himself. He's met in the backfield. A trio of Wolverines are there, including Wilford Clark. Also in the fray is Will Fletcher. Motion man from right to left is Milan Smith. He'll take the jet motion handoff, coming from right to left. He'll cut it back inside, and that cutback carries him into the end zone for the Penn Hills touchdown, and Woodland Hills trails by 5 points, 20-15. And it's going to be Kistner keeping it across the goal line for the Penn Hills two-point conversion, and the Indians hold a 7-point lead. And Miguel Cobb's all over that one as he just ate the lunch of Campbell. Jeremiah Jones running with the football, running left inside of the 25. The ball came loose, and I think the Indians got it. They do. Penn Hills football with 2:23 to play. Motion man from left to right. The handoff will go to Mathis. Looking to cut it inside, and he will have enough for a Penn Hills first down. Handoff will go to Campbell. He has the first down, and that'll do it. The Penn Hills Indians will beat the Woodland Hills Wolverines.
The Penn Hills Indians clinched a share of the Southeastern Conference title with a 22-15 win over the Wolverines, and more importantly, the top seed out of the SEC in the WPIAL playoffs. Meanwhile, Woodland Hills lost their first conference game of the season and fell out of the top 4 in the 16-team playoff bracket. 6th-seeded Woody High will host 11th-seeded North Hills in the first round of the WPIAL playoffs. We are the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Since 1987, we've been a part of some of the most electrifying football games in Western Pennsylvania, and we've established a national reputation of excellence. Whether you're a former player, a Woody High alum, a parent, or a fan, you're part of our Wolverine family. And now you can join us by becoming a part of our new booster club, the Wolverine Nation. Visit WHFBA.org and see how your donation can help our student athletes while earning you unique benefits. We're more than just a booster club. We are the Wolverine Nation. Hi again, fans, and welcome back to this WPIAL Playoff Week 1 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. Adam Gusky here, sitting down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak. And Coach Novak, before we talk about this week's playoff matchup against North Hills, let's take a look back to last Friday's loss against Penn Hills, a disappointing way to wrap up the regular season.
It was a tough game. It was a tough loss for our boys, being that they're our big rival. We knew it was going to be a close football game, and, when you get into close football games, they're usually decided by a couple of plays. And, at times we played really well, then at times we made some mistakes. There's a couple of things, big differences in the game. After we scored first, there was a fumble. It looked like we picked it up. We were running for a touchdown. They blew it dead, and they said he was down. It was a close call. Could have went either way. You get that call in our way, and we're up 14-0. Things are rolling. When you look at the game, we moved the ball well. Then at times we didn't. The 2 turnovers we had, the 1 fumble and the interception, that played a big part in it. But our kids never gave up. They played hard the whole game. Their first 2 scores came on pass plays that we hadn't seen on any tapes, and they kind of snuck a guy downfield both times, and we were trying to stop their jet sweep, which is their best play, and they caught us wide open down the field for touchdown. Those were 2 big plays. Once they did get the lead, the kids fought back. We came back and we scored, and went for the 2 and we got it. And, going into the fourth quarter, it was 15-14 us. So, it was an exciting game. We just came up on the short end of it. I feel bad for the kids. The kids worked real hard for this season, and we're 7-2. It's a positive sign. We were co-champs in the conference, and we kind of go into the playoffs with a little chip on our shoulders.
Coach, after the West Allegheny game, you said Jeremiah Jones has a tendency to try to do too much. You think that was an issue against Penn Hills?
No, Jeremiah's a great athlete. He tries to make plays happen. He didn't read the pass was open. He, tried to make a run. He had just previously, a couple plays earlier, he did it and got a first down for us. So, he tries to do things, and he has good instincts. Toughest position on the field is quarterback, and he's one of our best athletes, and we have a lot of confidence in him and faith in him.
Yet again, Coach, heading into the postseason, that two-headed monster showing itself to be very, very strong with Joel Shaw and, of course, Miles Sanders. Yeah,
our big threats are 2 running backs. The passing game hasn't developed as fast as we want. We still got to work on it and still got to try to develop it, because we do have some good receivers, some good athletes out there. And, when you're in the playoffs, you got to take what they give you, whether it be the run or the pass, and we got to make something happen.
Coach, let's talk about the Wolverine defense. At times, your defense shut down one of the most explosive offenses in the WPIAL.
Yeah, I think, Penn Hills offensively is a big threat. They have some great athletes. Their quarterback has great speed. Their tailback has great speed. They use a number of guys on the slot position to run their jet sweep, which starts everything going. They had a great blocking scheme. They have great guards that pull on it. We're kind of reading. I thought our kids did a nice job reading, stopping the inside stuff, which was the tailback and the quarterback for the most part. We did a nice job on them. But the jet sweep, we just came up a little short on that end of it. And really, they didn't score until they got the 2 passes, so we weren't really doing as bad as we felt, but they were moving the ball a little bit too much. We lost Laquan Bowden during the game, and that was a big thing. And Danny Gibson got hurt. We had a number of guys get hurt. We had to mix some people in there. They did a nice job when they got in there, and they played hard. Miguel Cobbs got in at defensive tackle, did a nice job. Karen McLean, he had some great plays defensively. We got a solid defense, and we're going to learn from this and get better.
Coach, let's talk about the North Hills Indians, a team out of the Northern 8 that has a big win on their schedule against the Southeastern Conference team, against the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils. What can we expect to see from their offense, first of all?
Well, they're a wide open offense. They like to spread it out. They'll run the jet sweep, the reverses, a lot more different offensive looks and plays than Penn Hills gives you. They don't have the speed that Penn Hills has, but they got some great athletes that are tough kids, and they're wide open. They do have a power attack they use sometimes too, but they're tricky on the wide open stuff, and you got to be well prepared for it.
How about the Indians' defense?
Defensively, Pat Carey played there at North Hills, and he's probably one of the best defensive minds in the WPIAL. Give him a lot of credit for what they do and how well they do it. So, they're a solid defensive team. They played well against, they played North Allegheny, Pine Richland, and Central Catholic. They played pretty well defensively against those 3.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about the playoff seeding. Were you at all surprised slipping down to the 6th spot, or do you think that's where you should be after the loss to Penn Hills?
Pine Richland and Penn Trafford are undefeated. They deserve to be 1 and 2. Penn Hills beat us. Central's the defending champ, so that's your 1, 2, 3, and 4. And McKee Sports 8 and 1. They're the 5th seed. And there's a lot of us. There's a lot of teams that are 8 and 1 and 7 and 2. And they put us first at the 7 and 2s. And North Allegheny has a great team. And Altoona and Bethel are 8 and 9. So there's a lot of very, very good football teams. And I remember week 1, I said, the rankings in the beginning don't matter, because there's always 8 or 9 teams that can make a stand and make a push down the stretch here. So, we got a tough seed playing North Hills. because they're a very good football team. But that's who we got, and it's going to be a great football game again Friday night.
Coach, I'm sure you're aware we've made it to the WPIAL championship game, coming from third place in the conference all the way to being conference champs, so this is nothing new.
Yeah, we've been here before a few times. This isn't our first rodeo, but we're preparing the kids, and we're looking for a tough game from North Hills and see what happens from here.
Coach Novak, good luck this week against the Indians, and we hope to talk to you again next week in the WPIAL quarterfinals.
Thanks, Adam.
We'll be right back with more of the pregame show right after this here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
All right, fans, let's see where the Wolverines stand in the Southeastern Conference. And now let's take a look at the MSA Sports WPIAL Quad A Top 10 rankings.
Again, fans, we thank you for joining us for this WPIAL Playoff Week 1 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. If you can't make it to the Wolverine this Friday night, you can tune in on our flagship radio station, AM 1550 WZUM, on the web at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com. Our radio broadcast will be live and archived on msasports.net. You can tune in to our live coverage on Monroeville Comcast Cable Channel 13, Penn Hills Comcast Cable Channel 98, and Verizon Fios Channel 37. And as always, you can tune into replays of Friday night's game on all of our television affiliates and our YouTube channel. For everybody at the Woodland Hills Football Network, I'm Adam Gusky, and we hope to talk to you again next week from the WPIAL quarterfinals.
This has been a presentation of the Woodland Hills Football Network. Watch us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and as always, visit us at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com.